Today we're going to tie up a pattern called Egan's Red Dart. So that's a really great pattern. Found it on Fly Fish Food's website. And we're going to start out with a jig hook. It's a size 14 with a tungsten bead. I think it's a 1/8. We're going to start out with about 8 or 9 wraps of lead wire. We'll go ahead and wiggle that back and forth and break it off. And I'll just push that up right into the bead, kind of holding that in place a little bit. We're going to tie this up using a red thread. We're just using a 14/0. We'll start right behind that lead. Get our thread started. We're going to build up a little bit of a ramp up to that lead. Kind of like they mentioned in their video, this fly doesn't necessarily represent anything, but it really works. It's a good attractor pattern. We'll just take our thread up through those lead wraps. We'll have plenty of material up here at the front, so I'm not too worried about covering all of that up. I just turn my thread counterclockwise just to kind of flatten it out a little bit. And we're going to take it right down into the bend of the hook. Go forward a wrap or two. Next we're going to just take a red hackle feather. I've taken probably about 15 or so fibers off of this. I want the tail to be somewhat short. Go ahead and get that secured in place with a wrap or two. I'm going to just take a look at the length there. Actually I want that a little shorter, so I'm just going to grab up here up front. Pull on that a little bit. And I'm just going to finish securing that on down. Trying not to catch my dry fingers in everything. About like that, and come on in with my scissors and we'll go ahead and cut off the excess. I'm going to take a piece of small pearl tinsel, tie that in on the side here. On the one side of the hook, and then I'm going to just take some 6X tippet material. Add that in as well. Next we're going to take some Peacock Ice Dub. I'm going to dub this on about as tight as I can, and I'm still going to have to trim it because I'm just not really good at tying an ice dub without having little bits and pieces poking up all over the place. That first wrap right around the back end here. We'll work our way up. want to leave myself a little bit of space, probably about the length of that bead. And this is where I'll grab my scissors and we'll come on in and we'll trim some of this up. Once we've got that trimmed up a little bit, we'll go ahead and take our tinsel. We're going to counter wrap it. So we're going to wrap it the opposite way we just wrapped our Peacock Ice Dub. Probably only get about 4 complete wraps around here. We'll bring it back around here and we'll go ahead and tie that off. A wrap or two. Go ahead and turn my vise a little bit. We'll go ahead and snip that off. And we'll go ahead and take our 6X. We're going to wrap that the same way we wrapped our peacock, so it's counter wrapping against that tinsel we put in, and that's just going to make this a bit more durable by holding that tinsel in place. Go ahead and tie that off. And come in with our scissors and we'll cut that off as well. Next I'm going to take a furnace hen hackle and just grab it by the tip here, and then I'm going to kind of stroke those fibers backwards to give myself a tie-in point. Once I have that tie-in point, we'll just go ahead and hold that against the shank of our hook. Get a couple of good tight wraps on it. And I'm going to move that forward a little just so I can make sure that that's completely secure. I'll come in with my scissors and we'll cut that tip off. Now we're just going to take a couple of wraps with this hackle, so I'm going to kind of stand it up and stroke those fibers back best as I can. Come back over, we'll go ahead and stroke everything back again. We'll bring that up over the top and we're going to go ahead and secure that hackle. I'll turn my vise again and we'll go ahead and clip that hackle off really close. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and just stroke everything back. Trying to get those underneath. So we just have this nice kind of collar on it. It doesn't go all the way back. And last we're going to tie in a little bit of pink ice dub as well. Kind of making a pre-collar out of that. I'm sure I've got more than I need. So I'll just go ahead and take whatever extra I've got off here. Go ahead and secure that down. I'll turn my vise once more and we'll come on in and we'll clip off whatever excess of that dubbing I've got. And from here we're going to give it a nice red hot spot or collar here. Don't cover up the pink. Give myself just a little bit of extra thread. We'll grab our whip finisher. Secure our knot nice and tight. We'll come on in and cut that thread off. And that is Egan's Red Dart. Fantastic pattern. Make sure you tie these up, keep them in your box. Again, it doesn't necessarily represent anything, but it's a great attractor pattern, so grab yourself a hook, throw it in your vise, and give this one a shot.